everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am here to make a summer favorites video today. I have been loving making these every season because I always have something that is either like a theme throughout the season or things that I really enjoyed throughout the season that I learn about or find out about, or just think fondly of during that time. So it's nice to document it, and hopefully while documenting it you're able to get something out of it for yourself. To start off my summer favorites, I'm going to talk about my favorite drink, which has been a London fog, whether iced or hot. I started drinking more Earl Grey tea this summer and spring, and I really enjoyed it. And specifically this summer, every single day I make myself a London fog. I just make my tea with honey in it, and then I put a tiny sliver of either creamer or almond milk in it. Just put like a tiny drop of it in there because I feel like if you put too much milk or too much creamer, because the tea is not very strong, it just takes away all the flavor, and then it's bland. And sometimes I do splash a little bit too much in the morning, and then I'm like, ooh, today's not the day. Next, I want to talk about some skincare that I recently bought that I have been enjoying. So I recently have been trying out the Trader Joe's skincare. Initially bought this one and I really liked it. So this one is Trader Joe's Enrich, and it's a moisturizing face lotion that also has SPF, and it's SPF 15. I really like this because in the morning it's really easy to just throw this on because it already has SPF in it and just run out the door. And then I have all-in-one facial cleanser, and it's not an, I'm not sure if it's exactly an oil cleanser. It kind of feels that way, but it does foam up more than an oil cleanser only would, if that makes any sense. But I've been really enjoying it. I've been using it for the past 2 weeks. It helps me remove all my makeup at the end of the day. It's very light as well, which is the type of cleansers that I like. I have the Nourish oil-free facial moisturizer. The reason why I also recommend them is because they are so light on the skin, but they also are very affordable in comparison. I think they all range from either $5 to less than 10. Next, I'm gonna very vaguely talk about some outfits that I have been enjoying and some pieces that I have been enjoying to wear in the summer. So I have been loving to wear long skirts for a while now. I still love my mini skirts obviously, but I just found myself slowly evolving into wearing maxi skirts all the time, especially because they're work appropriate and things like that. So I'll put some photos of my favorite ones that I have right now that I've been wearing a lot. And I also have to be the complete opposite of that, which is little shorts. I just put them little comfortable shorts on my list. Those are not jean shorts, they're just little shorts that I have. I'll also add photos on here that they're extremely comfortable and great for the summer because it's so hot that it's just like that's the only thing I can wear at this point, with like some flip-flops, and I'll be good to go. I have like a Brazil one that I wear a lot for the World Cup. And then to continue on this theme, but to talk about some accessories that I've been enjoying, I recently worked with a brand called Soho's Eyewear on my Instagram. If you follow me on there, you've probably seen them already. They are a glasses brand, and they reached out to me and wanted to collaborate with me for me to film videos for some of the glasses that they sent me. They ended up sending me 3 different pairs, which I love all of them, but this one in particular is the last one that I did a video on. I'll put the video up here so that you can take a look. I really like these glasses. They are blue light lenses, and I just love how these glasses look on. They've been my favorite glasses. I've been wearing them every day for work, especially because I stare at the computer for so long. I just think that they suit my face really nicely, and I do think that they help me with my vision headaches because I get vision headaches very often when I am staring at the computer for so long. So I really like these glasses. I love the color of them. They have a tortoiseshell one, which is the one I have, or they have a black version of it. I do have a 15% code that they had given me for if anybody wants to give it a shot. But I just love their brand. They are super kind to work with. I've had my mom look at them, who worked in an optical store for a long time. for like 10 years. So she looked at them and she really liked the quality as well. And then for other accessories that I have these hair clips that I bought. I don't remember exactly where I bought them, but I feel like you could buy them anywhere. It's just these little clips. They're also tortoise shell. They were very popular in the early 2000s when I was little. And I have really been liking them because my hair has been growing, and I feel like sometimes it looks awkward in the length that it's growing because it has different layers. I think that putting it up in different ways, putting it half up, half down, looks really good. And then the last accessories that I have are my Havaianas. So the day that Brazil lost against Norway, I went out and I have been wanting a pair of Havaianas for a long time because I haven't had them for years. My husband bought me this pair and I really like it. I got them immediately because they're so cute, and again, it's so hot. I've been wearing them all the time to run errands and stuff like that. It just makes me feel cozy. And then to talk about some hobbies that I've been enjoying this summer, I have really been enjoying getting back into sketching, and specifically doing watercolor. I got this little set as a gift and I really have been enjoying using it. It just comes with this tiny little palette that you'll put the paint on there, and then you mix with the watercolor in here, and you use this pen to fill up the water, and you just squeeze it for the water to come out to create the watercolor effect. And then these are the pages for it. It's very small. I just started using this last week and just doing like tiny drawings, and I just think it's so fun. I love watercolor because I feel like it's very forgiving. I've been really enjoying to take the time to get off the screen for hobby related items. I have this journal that my father-in-law made me by hand. He's super talented. He cut the letter himself and put it together for me with this string. I love these journals because you're able to carry so many journals around, and I have different journals that I use for different things. So I haven't been able to figure out my journaling system yet with this, but I really want this to be the journal that I kind of carry around with me throughout the day because it's also the perfect size to carry in my purse. And to continue this kind of things I'm doing this summer that I've been really enjoying, one of them is recharging. I've reached a point where I'm finally kind of getting into a better routine where I do have time to recharge and to ensure that I have time to recharge, if that makes sense. It's been something that I've been prioritizing a lot. I feel like I was constantly making plans all the time, and now I finally reached a point where I was getting so burnt out that I was like, it's time to again focus on doing my hobbies, taking some time to draw, to not do anything on my phone, to not be out all the time, and just taking it easy on the days that I need. Because I think that when you take the time to recharge and to do the things that you need, whether it's like to clean your apartment or to take the time to do the hobby that you've been wanting to do for ages but you feel like you never have the time, instead of going out that one time and taking the time to do that so that you feel more relaxed and calm, it really helps. And it really diminishes the chances of you feeling burnt out. And then for a home accessory, I have this candle. I bought this from Target, and this is the second one that I purchased because mine, I tried to light it this week and it's gone. And I love this candle so much. It's from Hearth and Hand with magnolia, and it's berry leaf and lemon scent, and it just smells so good. I love this candle. To finalize this video, I have books and movies. So the first book that I listened to this summer that I really enjoyed was Rebecca. I had watched the movie a few years ago, but I didn't really grasp the story through the movie, so I really wanted to go back and read the book. It's been on my list for a long time. I got to it this summer and I loved the book. Again, I listened to it because I've been listening to audiobooks a lot recently, but I think that it was written so well and beautifully. It felt like a poem as you were reading it, but not so. I feel like sometimes when people write narrative books in a lyricism or like poem kind of way, or poetic kind of way, it feels lacking because it's not very detailed. But in this, it was more like a writing style that is very common, I feel like, with older books and classics, but this one specifically, it was written so beautifully. From the beginning of the book, I immediately already loved it, and the writing style. And if I could ever write something that had that effect, I would be set for life. My favorite kind of writing style, I feel like, something that is kind of poetic and kind of brings you into the world of the character, because you're able to kind of almost feel where the character is through those descriptions. And I think that listening to the book even helped elevate that experience even more, because I think that the voice actress did such a great job in interpreting the characters. And as I listened to it on my commute, it almost felt like a beautiful movie that I was watching, because again, it was so detailed and visual that I could picture everything so vividly. It felt, again, like I was watching a movie. And it's funny because I watched the movie itself so long ago that I don't really remember any visuals about it. I only remember like one scene from it. So to be able to listen to the book and kind of imagine a whole world, a whole new world from the book, was very interesting. And I just loved the book so much. And the story as well, the plot, I think is well written. There was no point that I felt like it was going too slow, or I just wasn't engaged. The second book that I listened to, I spoke a little bit about in my last video, but it's Directing Actors by Judith Weston. And I really enjoyed this book. I definitely feel like this book could be shorter, because I feel like it kind of became redundant at a point, because we kind of had a handful of main points that were focused on in the book, and then it just got to a point that it just felt like repetition. I do think that it was extremely helpful of a book. I have been directing for a few years now, but again, I feel like I haven't learned anything before reading this book. And it's funny because I've been to directing classes. I have a film degree, but after reading this book, I was like, holy shit, I know nothing about directing, and now I know a lot about directing just from reading this book, so much more than I think I received from my degree or just from my experiences before. There were so many great helpful tricks and tips to help actors do their best on set and to make them the most comfortable and the most able to do their work. It's focused on seeing a character as a person with depth and life experience which affected their personality, and I feel like that's the main focus of the book, in really allowing the character to have a life outside of the page, whether it's the character's written in a way in the script that doesn't say something that you might want to have a background to, is to allow the actor to give that background to the character, or you can give the background to the character. But something that she also focused on a lot in this book is to not over explain a character to an actor, because it makes it really hard for them to become the character. Because especially if you're thinking about in our lives when we're having an experience, a lot of it is uncertain and we're working through things as they come. So if you over explain something to an actor, they have to act something that's obvious, which is kind of like, okay, act funny right now, and it's like, what? If you over explain something to an actor or say something too specific for them to do, they will not be working through it throughout the scene, which makes it less natural, and affects obviously the quality of the acting. So that's something that I learned a lot from this book as well, is to let the actor have things for themselves and for them to think about on their own, that you might not want to have a definite answer for, because again, they are going to become this character that is a person and that is figuring out their life one step at a time. And if you're explaining exactly what they're feeling and exactly why they're feeling that way, they're not working that out through the scene. This book challenges directors to think about their characters, the intention behind their blocking and mannerisms they may have, and their intention in each scene by using an action verb, and their experience outside of what's written beyond it. So yeah, this book really focuses on the perspective of an actor, I think, and it really does kind of like call out directors to be willing to dig deeper and do more work within their characters and think about, again, things that happen outside the page or outside the story that even that may have happened, for example, to a character prior to this story, because that really helps build a character that has depth. To finalize this video, I'd like to say my favorite movie that I have rewatched this summer is Frances Ha. I watched this movie a long time ago and I still think about it so often, so I thought it was about time I rewatched it, and I still love this movie. I think that the meaning behind this movie is, there's so much meaning behind this movie, and it just means a lot to me, and I think that it's so relatable. I think it's just such a great film that incorporates so many human struggles and so many human emotions in it in such a great way. This is such a great movie. It talks about navigating your 20s and feeling inadequate through it and not really knowing what your next step is, or maybe thinking that when you reach a certain step in your life that everything will be good and you'll have it all figured out, when that's not the case. And it just talks about so many relationships that you have in your life, and how you may think that somebody's doing great and kind of be jealous of them or envious of them because of that, or kind of see yourself lesser than because of that, but then you realize that they may feel the same way about you, even if you have this great perspective of them. So a lot about interpersonal relationships and overall just feeling inadequate, which I think that's something that most people feel, especially in their 20s. And I would love to make a full video talking about Frances Ha. It incorporates being a human being so well, and just feeling awkward or feeling out of place, and trying to manage it in the most honest way. So that's all I'm gonna say for this video, because I could talk about it forever, but I have a whole review written about it. But yeah, everyone, that is all that I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you got something interesting or a recommendation out of this video. I have really been enjoying taking it easy this summer and enjoying the sun. I hope that you have a great summer, a great rest of your summer, and have a lovely day. Thank you for clicking.